a nice little caveat.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of thing. So I'm trying to see. Are you on? Like, is there a thing where like people can write into you and ask you questions? And
well, starting in April. I mean, they can message me. Starting in April, we're going to start taking, the listener phone calls and all that stuff. I got we got a sophisticated system. I run 7, like I was telling you, I know virtually nothing about computers, but we got 7 computers running this show. And, I'm learning it. So, I vowed that I was going to start taking, listener phone calls starting in April when we start extending our hours of our show. So we're going to be going like 3 hours a night, 5 nights a week and plus 1 day on the weekend. So it's going to be busy, man.
I'm just like you. There's computer illiterate, and there's my class computer stupid. Really. My daughter, who's got all these computer numbers and letters behind her name, she laughs at me and tells me to get out of the Stone Age, Dad. I'm just too old to learn a new trick. I could barely handle my tablet.
Oh.
And I use an old flip phone, and it suffices for me. It's about my speed, very slow, very not sophisticated. I learned how to text, and I spelled terribly.
Uh-huh.
I continually mess that up. I don't know about you, and then the tablet every once in a while decides what my interpretation is and put something totally off the wall in it.
Well, my problem is I have a tendency using voice on my phone, when I'm texting somebody, because I'm usually doing something else, okay, because I multitask. And next thing I know, I'm dictating on my phone, and it's putting, words down. And then I look at it, I go, holy crap, that's not what I meant. And the guy's going to think I'm crazy as what? Because, sometimes it interprets what you say and comes out with a completely different word or a different sentence. And it can be scary sometimes.
Because you just go, oh, wow, did I just offend a whole bunch of people? And, I have a lot of people that, like hearing me play guitar, like what I do, like the music. I'm a writer, so they like it. And the people that like my music, when they get a hold of me and want to talk to me, I'm very, very open.
Oh, that's
because,
good.
as you know, without a fan base, if you're cold-blooded to your fans, they just go, whoa, let's look at this guy. And pretty soon you don't have a fan base because it's the fans that make us.
Well,
we have talent.
Real quick story, Christopher. Years and years ago when I was a teenager, and my dad came so unglued back then because it was in probably the mid-'70s or early 70s, somewhere around there. No, it was early 70s. I got on the phone call, and I had this infatuation with Rockford Files with James Gardner.
Right.
And
right, I remember.
Yeah, so I made the decision, hey, I'm going to call the studio, and I'm going to ask for James Gardner. Well, like 20 minutes later on hold, and you have to remember back that time, you were charged by the minute, and it was not cheap. Yeah. It was like 80-some cents a minute or whatever it was. And and then James Gardner came on, and we had like about a half an hour, phone conversation. And I got to know him a little bit that way, and it was kind of cool. He, a real, a warm person, and not fake. And he cared. I mean, a lot of people would have said, hey, screw you. I'm not going to talk to that guy. I don't know him. The same thing. I talked to Merv Griffin one time and did the same thing when I was, young. I called up and he talked to me for a good hour, and it was, his time. And he told me how he started his broadcast career as a DJ and singer and bands and all this stuff. And he went into all of it. That's what's important. When you do something for the public, if you don't treat them right, you won't be around long.
No, you won't. And, not many people remember, my playing because it's, we're dinosaurs. But we had a big influence on rock and roll today. All the bands I played with, all the people that that I play with still, like, playing with Sal, playing with Steve. Here's a little crazy caveat. I did a country western album with me and Johnny Rotten. Now, there you go. I'm a rock and roller. We know what Johnny is. He's a punk rocker, and it made quite a stir, because you just wouldn't put us together.
Uh-huh.
And it's, but you have to realize that, you have the talent or you wouldn't be there. That's pretty much a given. But it's what you do with the talent after you get it, okay? And if you're a snob, it doesn't work. It just doesn't. Not for me.
If you have all the talent in the world, right? But if you don't take care of your fans, and they can tell when you're phony, they can tell real fast. If you show your fans that you care, because, if you like music, or like when I was in broadcasting commercially, in the radio stations and all that stuff, and doing talk shows and DJ shows, I had a huge fan base. I mean, I worked in a couple of the major radio stations in my life, and I had a huge fan base. And you know what? I treated and answered every letter I would get from the fans. I would, even if it took me ever, to do it, I responded, and that's what keeps you around.
Right. I may not be very quick on the response, because I'm so wrapped up in, like, we're doing this movie that takes a lot of my time. I'm scoring the movie, so I'm working with other artists. And as I work with these, so it takes up. So anybody that's listening out there, if they want a sample of my music, you can get a hold of Gary. Gary can give you my contact information, and I'll be glad to send you something. And you can, you can text me on email. You can look me up on Facebook, and I'll respond to you. You can send me a friend request, and I'll respond to you. Maybe not quickly, but I'll get to you. I promise you that.
Oh, that's nice, and that's what's important. A lot of people just don't do that. I mean, especially, I hate to say it, and I probably say the same thing, and my father said the same thing, and his father said the same thing, the younger generation. But I'm still trying to figure out the younger generation. I'm getting old, I guess.
Where do we fit in there? I'm trying to figure that out too. It was funny. I was talking to Jeffree Star. You know who Jeffree Star is, right?
Oh, yes.
And he was Eddie Money's guitar player. And we're, I'm doing some things with him, and I said to Jeff, Jeff, I really don't think today's audience wants to see a couple of old guys jumping around on stage. I can sit on a stool, like nobody. I can really sit on a stool. And he laughed, and he said, no, you'd be surprised how our music from the 60s and early 70s is coming back. And they do want to see us, because we had such an impact on today's music.
Oh, yeah.
And, but I did. I was laughing with Jeff, and I was laughing with Sal. He was over on Saturday, and we were laying down tracks, and great guitar players. Both of them are just excellent. And, when you work with a pro, I don't care if you're in broadcasting, if you're an actor, when you work with pros, it's such a pleasure.
Oh,
because
yeah.
you don't have to teach them. They know what to do.
Have you ever done anything with Dion? He's a cool guy. He's on Facebook quite often. I've chatted with him and texted him a couple of times, and he texts back. I mean, I really like Run Around Sue and a lot of the songs he did, and he can play guitar pretty good too.
Yeah, it just all those old songs that we grew up listening to. Even on when I play out live, and I was retired because I had colon cancer and it almost killed me. And then, so I tried, I backed away from music for a couple of years while I was healing. And it's just recently I started getting back in with this movie and all this stuff. And, I just can't believe the reception that I'm getting. And I play a lot of those old songs. Do you remember Last Kiss, for example?
Oh, yeah. Well, a lot of people do. Hello?
I actually do that. I actually play it, because I love it. It's a memory from my childhood. those kind of things. The nostalgia for me is just like, wow, I don't know how to explain it.
Well, I had to, years ago when I had a business, actually they owned a business building. Remember the Ventures?
Oh, sure do. Walk, don't run.
Walk, don't run. One of the Ventures actually owned a company where I can't remember what it was, but I got to know him because I rented an office space from the guy. He was up in Kent, Washington. And, I went in there one time to go in there and talk to the secretary, and he walked out of his office and he was actually playing his guitar, And after that, every time we see each other, he would, talk, and it was really cool. And, they had some mean music. I really like that music. I like the Beach Boy music. I love the guitars, I just, the things that just you don't hear no more, a lot of it.
Everybody is sampling, and it's just a beat. When I write a song, I tell a story. I don't just, I tell a story about it. For example, I have a song called Thunder Pass, and it's a ghost story. It's a story about, this lady and this horse, and there's thunder and there's lightning, and the horse gets excited and kicks the stall down, and she's trying to calm it. She ends up on the back, and she rides off to the canyon, and the horse stumbles, and they die, and they become ghosts. And when the thunder crashes, as you see, and it's called Thunder Pass, when the thunder crashes, you see them both riding on that ridge.
Oh, wow.
And when I write it, in the lyrics denote all that. And when you hear the sound, you actually hear the horse galloping.
Oh, wow.
I make my guitar gallop so that I like to evoke an emotion, not just play a couple of chord songs. When you play music, it's not just about, get up there, 1, 2, 3, 4. You have to stir the audience. You have to make the audience feel your music. Not just listen to it, but feel it. And evoke emotion. Even if I get, I hate that, I still did my job. I evoked that emotion out of you.
What type of guitar is your favorite guitar?
Well, because I'm a professional rhythm guitar player, I like I have 27 guitars, but I like playing my Gretsch. I like playing my 335.
Okay.
I like playing my Lucille. I like my 336. I like my Guild. I like my 359. But those are middle. That's for the middle. Because without a good solid rhythm section, you could be the screamingest lead in the world. But if you don't have if your rhythm section isn't together, I don't care how good you are as a lead, it just doesn't come off right. And music is structure. And
it sure is.
It's not just a jam. It's got to be played the first time and the millionth time the same way. You can open it up and add solos and all that stuff, but the core of the song has to be played the first time or the millionth time. Then it's a song.
Oh yeah.
Otherwise it's just a jam. It's just a jam. And one of the things I get a lot of musicians come up to me and ask me, what do you do to get into the music? And I say, devote every bit of your soul to your craft. If you're not prepared to take a walk off the cliff, don't do it.
Oh wow.
Do not. Okay, because that's exactly what you're doing. You want to start, be a professional. You know that in radio. You know that.
Well, you gotta do your best,
Oh, you got to take a walk off the cliff and say, I'm not gonna go work another job. This is my job, and make it work for you. Or start. One of two things, but those are the options.
Yeah. Now, how many years have you actually been playing now? Just out of curiosity.
60 years. I started when I was 5. I played guitar. I played cello. I play mandolin. I play violin. I play alto sax. I play piano. A few instruments. I play banjo and, a few things.
Yeah.